Welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hilka. I'm an empath. I just like to do these little talks on how I feel about things, and today I feel pretty good about stuff. Things are pretty copacetic under my tree. Hanging out outside with Stanley, me and Stanley under our tree. I gotta go do laundry here in a little bit, but I wanted to just jump on and connect. Make a connection. Connections are happening. It's happening. The astrology says, you're going to start to meet people that you're really, truly in alignment with. And I'll be damned if I haven't met one was reacquainted and the other, hey, Emmett. COW. Can I call you Hammock Cow? Is that cool by you? Because it's clear. I like cows. And I just COW, Clariescent Oracle, Emmett Cow. And they're sacred. I remember there's a little band in Reading when I was growing up called Team Sacred Cow. You have a magical day too. I will have a magical day if you have a magical day, and it's already magical. So there you have it. The weather is just freaking nice today, and I don't think of cow as anything derogatory at all. So I mean no offense. Offense is a funny thing. People want to take offense. I used to want to take offense. Stand on my fence. I'm going to guard my fence. This is my fence. Oh, fence. I will defend my fence. Try to claw my fence. I'll push you off my fence. It's my offense. So I leave the people's offenses to them. I'm a Hilka. It's what I do. If anyone, here, let me help you build your fence. Because if you build your fence, yeah, you're protecting yourself from all the scary stuff, but you're protecting yourself from the good stuff too. Sharing with someone this morning about balance, I said I shared yesterday about this Heyoka video, and there's an excerpt in there that talks about balance, and I'm like, I'm so freaking painfully aware of balance that I have to be careful not to be too balanced just because I don't want to be OCD or whatever those terms people are putting on, really focus people. Some people have no focus, some people have too much. It's just, how they're balanced. Kitty, kitty, meow, meow. Don't go off too far, Stanley. And no jumping fences. I noticed I took a picture of his feet yesterday, and I noticed how his markings continued from his right leg over to the black dot on his left. I'll post that later on Snap Next. Anyway, but things are lining up, things are happening. Astrology has been saying that people are gonna meet their same frequency tribe, same freak tribe. And I'm starting to meet more people like me. I know that there's that storyline of people that want to live on acreage, and I think it'd be fun to have fairs and have, a place where kids of all ages and of different abilities can come and swing in trees, even if all of their arms and legs don't work, have them doing things that they never thought that they could do and feeling those exhilarations that they never thought that they could feel. And meeting more people that are thinking like me. So when you start thinking that, you start, yeah, okay, I see how what I see can actually line up to be reality. And that's how manifestation works. I'm also pretty mindful of people's free will, because I sure as heck don't like when people tread on my free will. And so when I see other people treading on trying to take their free will, by trying to convince them of something that's going to take away from them so that the person doing the convincing can have more, no, that's imbalance. I'm trying to teach more people how to freaking, trust themselves and believe in themselves. And, nobody, for people like me, it should be easy because ain't nobody really believed in me much in life. So it's like I, made it kind of easy for me to go through and just do things how I thought saw fit. But then my ego got so big. What happened is I stopped, I stopped looking at, I got to look after my mom, and I got to look, I got these responsibilities that I need to take care of and stuff. And so I had to come back into balance, less from my free will run riot. I don't, because when I get, it's in my astrology. I looked at my chart again this morning because depending on who the teacher is, you're going to have different placements. Somewhere I read a report where I had Chiron and Aries in my 10th house. And so I did another one today, and I was just reading it for gee whiz. And I couldn't find where I have Chiron in my chart. But what I did find out was, our charts, are basically little guidebooks to who we are, our natal birth charts. And the one I use, I'll post a link below. And you just put your birth time in, your name, where you were born, and it basically comes up with the chart of you. And it's like all those things that you wonder why you do the things you do. Well, it's because the planets were aligned on a certain time that you were born. For example, I've had problems with I've always just always liked to escape. I like to go to different realms and dimensions, and you know, I did, I've done a lot of LSD and handful of shrooms and whatnot, and I just always known that there's something more out there than what the story that has been proposed to me. So, I had lot of trouble with alcohol, because it's the easiest thing to get, and you can go to oblivion in about a pint full fluid ounces. So it even says in my chart, because I have Neptune in my sixth house. I'm trying to do my X is 10, V is 5. So in my sixth house, I have Neptune. And because I have Neptune in my sixth house, it says I am more prone than most to the side effects of alcohol, medicines, drugs, um, and giving profession or service oriented job. So, yep, that's me. That's just my instruction. That's just how I was made. But here's the deal: we have free will, right? So we have the conscious decision at any time to take or give, right? So what I had to do is come to terms with, I don't get to do all that I want to do in this life, and I don't get to escape when I want to escape. Sometimes I have to face things. Because when I was a kid, I had to face so many things. It was like I got to the point when I was an adult, I'm just like, I'm not going to face nothing. I already had to face it all. I had to help, was there mom had her stroke, all the years of abuse, all I helped be a cheerleader for other people. Now I'm just gonna drink my life away, right? What happened is once I started loving myself, I was able to rise above me to see what was in the best interest collectively for everyone, for me and everyone that knows me, how I can help enrich their lives. And that is to abstain from alcohol. Yep, that's for me. And I have the affliction, so when I drink, maybe I'll wake up in Mexico. Maybe I'll wake up. Maybe I won't. It's a crapshoot. It's a who knows what's gonna happen, and 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 I just didn't care for a long time until I cared. And when I started caring about myself, that's when I started recognizing the love that I have for my mom after having so much resentment and things like that for so many years. And coming back into that balance. And now, because I've balancing myself out and finding my self-respect and my love for me, that I'm only going, and I'm used to just being alone in life. So I'm okay with not letting people in if they don't come at me direct. You know what I mean? They come at me proper, it's cool. We do a fair exchange, we cool. But I am very careful not to give more energy than I'm getting, or vice versa. I got to be more careful that I'm not taking from people more than what I'm willing to get. So it's a two-way street. See what I meant said, when the oppressors used heavy mind control, the abuse towards us, it caused substance abuse. I used it too. I wasn't exactly our fault. I'm over the guilt. I am too. And that's what I was going to do. I was going to tell a little story about how we're programmed, and how easy it is to not being able to acknowledge how deep the programming is engaged. And let me use an example. Now, when I was young, I used to wet my pants when I was like 5, 6, 7. And the reason why I did it is because they cut my hair short because I couldn't take care of it. I had long hair and I'd never brush it, and I was always out playing, and I wouldn't sit still when they brushed it, so I got they got naughty, and so they just cut it off and cut it shorter. And so I looked like little Nicholas on Eight is Enough. Looked like a little boy. And or people thought I looked like a little boy. So I go into a restroom, and people would ask, grown ass women, would tell me, are you supposed to be in here? Are you a boy or a girl? You know, it's just weird. and I'd get all self-conscious, so that made me real freaking leery of public restrooms. I didn't even want to be ridiculed and go through any of that and embarrassed, so I just would hold it. And then I'd hold it and hold it, and then I'd freaking end up wetting my pants. What happened is I kept getting bladder infections. And and it wasn't because I didn't. It's weird because when I got older, all these women would tell me about bladder infection. I'm like, yeah, I used to get those all the time. And they're like, well, theirs was sex. I didn't even make the connection because, well, that ain't my path, you know. So anyway, uh, kitty, 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 Stanley. There you are. Thank you. Getting a heart attack about had a myocardial infarction right here on live video. Call 911 and Stanley's not here, but he's right here, so nobody panic. In Tubesville. Hi, kitty, kitty, meow. Anyway, so so they made me go to a urologist, and then this one particular trip, they filled my bladder with pink orange dye. It was orange dye. They filled it contrast, and then they had me lay on a table, and then they said okay, and then they took X-rays, and they're like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your X-rays of your bladder full, and then what we want you to do is release the fluid in your bladder on the table, and we'll take pictures of images as you're urinating. And I was like, I can't. And it took forever. I couldn't, my brain would not pee on the table because we're so conditioned you pee in the bathroom, and that is the programming. They had to turn on the water. It took like, and there was like freaking a lot of fluid in my bladder. So I mean, I was like, I had to go, but my mind, and finally I was able to just, you know, that's what Heyoka is. We live through our shame. We live with our shame so that we can teach other people to freaking, dude, you have shame in your life? I was raped as a baby. You know, you have shame in your life? I had to pee on a table while a room full of people watched, you know? So shame is like a fence. We take it on. We have the choice to want to feel the vibration of shame, or it's just like, you know, it's just another medical okay, give me a minute. Okay, here we go. You know, it was, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but you know, I've been through a lot worse. You know what I mean? So we are free. We are free. I do feel like we're free too, you know, because more people are thinking like me and living like me, and I know that the world is going to change when more people start to see me, and you know, subscribe, don't subscribe. You know, this is my video library to keep in touch with me, Sabrina's, and it's also an account with diary for me to remember how things were when, you know, maybe I'll have memory problems like mom, you know. But this is my offering to the world that you know, keep your hope, and if you don't have a whole lot, take mine. I got plenty. So that's about all I got for today. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.